SCP-6162 The Wormhole. Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. Foundation assets assigned to near-Earth phenomenon are to monitor for signs of additional extraterrestrial spatial incursions that match SCP-6162's geometric signature. Foundation Lunacorps engineers are to continue working on Project ANKS to evaluate methods by which to collapse additional instances of SCP-6162-A should they appear in the future. However, due to the observed cross-dimensional mass matrix of SCP-6162-A, no such technology capable of accomplishing this currently exists. Description: SCP-6162 is the group designation for a number of unusual extraterrestrial phenomenon that were observed on October 19, 2021. SCP-6162-A was a spatial anomaly that appeared roughly 384,000 kilometers from Earth at 1623 Coordinated Universal Time on October 19, 2021. SCP-6162-A was first observed by the Far Mind Extraterrestrial Imaging Array. In a paper filed shortly after initial observation, Dr. Mortimer Decola would describe the anomaly as a rogue celestial aberration of unknown mass, tracking an unknown orbit that is currently passing through our solar system. It is a fully opaque mass and does not reflect light or other higher energy waveforms. It appeared suddenly, expending only a small amount of energy when doing so. Kuroshian physics indicates that any energy passing through the spatial rift should cause the overall interior metastructure of the anomaly to decay logarithmically. Despite this, the anomaly has continued to regenerate mass by unknown means since its initial discovery. SCP-6162-B and SCP-6162-C were mechanical entities or vessels discovered on the far side of SCP-6162-A's spatial rift. For more information, see Addendum 6162-1. Shortly after initial discovery, Foundation Lunacorps authorized the launch of KNK-03 to gather additional information about the anomaly. Addendum 6162-1. KNK-03 Observations. KNK-03 came within 20,000 kilometers of SCP-6162-A after roughly 11 hours of travel time. The probe confirmed that SCP-6162-A had a mass of approximately 3 billion kilograms, was vaguely sphere-shaped with slight tapering at the poles, and was experiencing tidal drift through the center of the anomaly. As KNK-03 was drawn into SCP-6162-A's gravity well, it ejected a radio tether on the near side of the anomaly to ensure transmission of data across the tidal plane. KNK-03 was almost incapacitated immediately upon passing through the anomaly by powerful electromagnetic pulses emanating from 3 colossal mechanical structures, hereafter identified as SCP-6162-B, immediately adjacent to the far side of SCP-6162-A, but was able to maneuver away from SCP-6162-A using onboard thrusters. Video received from KNK-03 is inconclusive, but appears to show the 3 instances of SCP-6162-B engaged with another smaller, sleek black vessel, hereafter identified as SCP-6162-C. Each of the instances of SCP-6162-B were well over 5 kilometers in height, composed primarily of heavily oxidized steel plating, and appeared to have a weapon system containing of depleted uranium shells launched at high velocity from multiple large-caliber autocannons, each at least 25,000 mm in diameter. SCP-6162-C, which was seemingly spatially entangled by a kind of energy emitter equipped by each of SCP-6162-B, was in the process of returning fire using a previously unseen weapon of unknown function. Shortly after its arrival, KNK-03 observed 2 of the SCP-6162-B instances begin to change shape, folding their large cannon batteries into their main superstructure. They then fired their own massive onboard thrusters, aligned to a point in space, and then reached tremendous speed before disappearing from the local space entirely. The single remaining instance of SCP-6162-B continued to fire upon SCP-6162-C until it was annihilated. Immediately after the destruction of the smaller vessel, the KNK-03 probe was caught in the same spatial entangling array it had previously observed being used to hold SCP-6162-C in place. KNK-03's onboard radio was then overwhelmed by noise as the remaining instance of SCP-6162-B began to emit a repeating signal. KNKO-3 captured one final pressure reading coming from the gun batteries of SCP-6162-B before it ceased responding to radio broadcasts, presumably having been destroyed. Immediately after the loss of KNKO-3, LunaCorp authorized the launch of KNKO-4 for further analysis of the anomaly. However, approximately 15 hours after first appearing, SCP-6162-A began to show signs of structural degradation across its mass matrix and fully collapsed in itself 16 hours and 23 minutes after initial discovery. Addendum 6162-2 Decoded Transmission. The following is the decoded message that was received by the KNKO-3 probe shortly before its apparent destruction. The message, which was transmitted in a previously unknown subspace frequency, was picked up by KNKO-3's radio transmitter as static. However, AI analysis of what was previously assumed to be noise determined the signal was in actuality a message, transmitted in modern Russian, that was repeated 11 times in the 8 seconds immediately before KNKO-3 was destroyed. The text of this transmission is as follows. Translated from Russian. Fuck you, bitch, with the frigate. I have planted a seed in your house. Now you will be evicted. The meaning of this message as it relates to its source is unknown. Further analysis of information collected by KNKO-3 is ongoing. Thank you for listening to SCP-6162. If you enjoyed this SCP, please follow the link in the description to the SCP Wiki and vote it up to support it and the SCP Wiki as a whole. Also, if you have any SCPs you'd like for me to do, please leave a comment below, and I'll see what I can do.